This is Silly Kelly, and this is a review of Independence Day Resurgence, the sequel 20 years in the making of Independence Day. Yeah, this was a movie that one of our cohorts, the Minions, not the little Tic Tac Minions, they were much later, the Minions group from the high school, which you don't know about, which we mentioned many times. This is Silly Kelly, and this is a review of Independence Day Resurgence. The first one was watched by one of our minions 40 times, and because he liked to watch things blow up that were monuments back in the 90s. The sequel to the movie, it's just about as cheesy as the first one, and if you think about it, like, okay, they Will Smith didn't want to be in it, so they kill his character and have his son be all dramatic and stuff. Even though didn't really indicate he had one, where that came from. Anyway, so no one was looking. Yeah, that's it. As a cheesy action flick that basically, the first one made the genre of the big dumb action alien thing updated for the 90s. Came around the same week as First Contact, and this one is very similar to First Contact. In the end, actually, the aliens were always kind of a hive mentality in the story, so they of course have a queen, and there's a queen in it, and spoilers, I guess, but you kind of saw that coming anyway. It just came out. I don't want to give away too much about it. Except to say that the review, it's an okay popcorn flick. I kind of agree with the critics. It's about as good as it's going to get. The premise of the story is that the Earth has strengthened itself by using the alien technology, which they didn't really explain. I guess, well, in the last one, if they could hack into the alien computer, they could, probably in this one, they could really have their technology. In the movie, they are visited by another another representative of aliens that is actually a good guy and accidentally shoot down their pod. Oops, thinking it's the bad guys. There's this, this circle that they keep drawing all the time and doing a line through it and saying that this is part of the alien sphere thing, which looks like something out of 2001. Crossed with the Portal character from Portal, and Eve as well. Yeah, there's a number of other things going on in here that are interestingly similar. Even the first Independence Day was like Stargate crossed with V, basically. But yeah, originality doesn't not necessarily need. You got Brent Spiner, who was apparently comatose, so he didn't die. He was in a coma. How very 1980s. He's in a coma. That goes back to the G.I. Joe movie, which came out a year after the Transformers movie, the original cartoon version, and discovered the fans of Transformers didn't like that they killed Optimus Prime, so they were like, okay, we didn't really kill off Duke, you didn't mean it. In G.I. Joe, I keep saying live action, no, the G.I. Joe cartoon movie, they kill off Duke, but then they decided at the last minute, no, he's in a coma. Like, what? So they had to dub that in there and dub that at the end to say, he didn't die. Well, I don't think Brent Spiner is necessarily paying homage to that. He's just paying homage to the notion, oh yeah, the guy that we assumed was dead was in a coma. G.I. Joe, the live-action movie, Part 2, did kill Duke and didn't bring him back. Anyway, so but is Independence Day and the First Contact of 2016, yeah, kind of. Alien ship comes along, the master weapons bench platform thing from Iron Sky and carves off the top of the moon and then lands on the Earth, literally on the Earth, and it's literally 20 miles long or 20,000 miles. A ridiculous, oversized thing goes thump, which would destroy the gravity of the Earth and screw up things. And then it starts doing Star Trek 2009 and drilling a hole to the Earth's core. Ooh, and it's gonna like destabilize the Earth's core, like in the core or something. That's not how that works. Yeah. Yeah, that's not how that works. The core is stable, at one point they say. Well, then it should go poof. Oh yeah, they had the longest countdown from 10 minutes ever. It was half an hour. We have 10 minutes to live, and somehow we get across country. And there's this Jeff Goldblum character's father is playing as a boat guy who somehow gets rescued by some teenagers, and they make their way across the valley in what appears to be Chloe Moritz. I don't know if it is, but it appears to be her. All Fifth Wave is cruising along, and they eventually find a bus, and they're eventually on their way to Area 51, but then they're not. Then they're on their way to the Salt Flats from somewhere else. I'm not sure how they all come together at the Salt Flats for the big Queen battle, or how that would even happen in under a half an hour. If they were at first at Area 51 or near it and traveling the other way, it would take them days. So with like in the Maze Runner 2, they tend to pop up and reappear and go here and go there, and it doesn't matter that these places are thousands of miles apart, or at most 800 miles apart, and they couldn't get there that quickly. The moon is also not that close to the Earth, but okay. But yeah, there's no science in it. It's fantasy, so it's fine. There's some Star Wars references. There's some Star Trek references. There's the Interstellar Flight Kick the Alien's Ass reference. They do a lot of odd choices in it. But yeah, it's a popcorn flick. So as a popcorn flick, as a sort of nod to the original, is it worthy? Well, yeah, it is. It's worthy of the original. I think it's actually a little better in some ways. They try for character development, even though the characters are kind of annoying, so you kind of don't care. And yeah, so at times, Bill Pullman's character is back as the ex-president, and of course they do the beat-for-beat thing with him doing something heroic with a plane, again, like in the first one. Well, if you're going to rip off something, why not rip yourself off? Okay. Besides, didn't he not... how did he eject from that? Oh, well. But, yeah, and there's this like subplot that does a little bit of Armageddon. That was Michael Bay. A little bit of Armageddon in that there's this love interest that's in one place on Earth and on the base, and then the guy has to go after her. They have to get back together and whatever. She nearly kills him at the end. It's right out of the other story. 2 or 3 other stories. The whole love triangle thing, very, very manga, actually, in that respect. There's an attempt at another love triangle, but it doesn't work. And there was a funny scene involving the near the end where the guy who's smitten for the Asian girl is like, "Ooh, we should try what Helmsworth and his girlfriend are doing. We should kiss." And I turned to the guy and I said, "No, it should be the black dude. He should kiss that guy, because that would be funny. The black dude should be like, oh my." And earlier in the movie, there's this sort of he's kind of imitating the guy from Tropic Thunder, but also the mercenary band guy. There has to be a black mercenary band guy, another black guy, and he has to. And his method for defeating the aliens is to go up the rear, which up their ass. It kind of like says that. And when I said, and I'm thinking, and I say it kind of aloud a little bit. I said, "So he fucks them." No, he shoots them. But so yeah, alien space movie. Things blow up. More monuments blow up. They rebuilt the White House so they can blow it up again. Not much else is left. But like the human race couldn't have risen from extinction. But yeah, they crashed the ship, and it's the size of a continent, and they stole that from Halo, I think. Yeah, so they stole that from Halo, and that's all I really have to say about most of it. It's okay. I'll go see it. I feel like that kind of thing. It doesn't have to turn off your brain and just watch it. It's Independence Day Resurgence Part